All right. Well, hey, everybody. Cleta the Cheetah here, October 23, 2023, our Boss Babe call. And I got a couple announcements before we do some really great training by one of our beautiful directors. And so we are going to start something really special. Here, October 23. Why does it do it? Our Boss Babe call. And there we go. Okay. When you stream, sometimes you hear double. Okay, so November the 13th is a Monday night, and we are going to start a special, believe it or not, 23-week series. Okay, don't you love series? I loved it when the Braves were playing, and now they're gone. We have to wait till next year to see them again. So this is going to last a little while. It's going to be every Monday night except for the first Monday night of the month, because the first Monday night of the month, we will do all the company news, what's going on with Mary Kay and what we need to know. And be assured, we're not going to leave any of that stuff out during the week. So there's something we need to talk about. But I had it suggested to me by a gal, Teresa Del Gray, I believe is her name. And she said, why don't you do a series on the book, Mary Kay on People Management? So I found my original book, you guys, and this one is from 1984. I got it right. I can't even believe I still have it. Okay, so I got it right after I got in Mary Kay in 1985. And in the time of the writing of this book, Mary Kay had just celebrated 20 years in the company. And she wrote this. So I'm going to read this first little part to you. But before I do, they came out with a 35th year anniversary book. And so this one is on marykayintouch.com. Now, I did go look on Amazon, but I just saw the Portuguese edition. And unless some of y'all speak Portuguese, now I have been over there, but I believe you might want the English, and there's a Spanish one too. But this is the one, it's $14.95. It is a paperback. Okay. It's really weird. I saw this one on Amazon for $69. I'm fixing to sell this book. No, I'm not. I'm keeping it. But anyway, this is the updated one. So you definitely could use either one of them. This does have a little more updates from Ryan Rogers, and I'm going to read that to you too. But let me read you this part of this one right here. It says, management, the Mary Kay way. Praise your people to success. Recognition is the most powerful of all motivators. Even criticism can build confidence when it's sandwiched between layers of praise. Tear down that ivory tower. Be accessible to all and listen. These are some of the tips for Mary Kay that we're going to be talking about. Be a risk taker and encourage your people to take risks too. Be sales oriented. Be sensitive to your customers' needs and desires. Be a problem solver. Recognize real problems. Take action. Create a stress-free workplace. Inspire, increase productivity. Develop and promote people from within. You'll build loyalty. And there's several others on this. Okay. And I wanted to read, so there's 23 little chapters in it. They're just a couple pages long. And in this one that I just got in the mail today, because I went ahead and ordered it because I didn't know if it would be something different. The cool thing is that in this new one, in the middle, in the back, you have all like a timeline of Mary Kay. I think it's pretty cool. And so there's pictures of her, and it's something that's not in the other one. So I'm so glad I got it. I actually thought, don't I have this? But really, it was redone. Let's see, the year. I think just like recently. I could be wrong, though. That's why y'all like me, because I'm not always right. Yeah, 2019. So anyway, you may already have it. So this is in honor of Mary Kay. But let me just read a little says about this. And we're not doing it till the 13th to give y'all all time to get your book if you would like to. And you don't have to, but you'll get more out of it if you're reading along with us. Okay. It says, I'm thrilled to reintroduce Mary Kay on people management and the groundbreaking ideas it introduced on how to be an effective leader. And at our fall advance, that's one of the things Dawn Alton-Sweeney did. She got up and she said, how many of y'all think you're leaders? And y'all, lots of hands went up. I would say most of y'all that are on here. And then you know what she said? She said, start acting like it. I'm like, you go, Dawn. Okay. It says this book is a representation of the life's work of an extraordinary woman I had the great fortune to call grandmother Mary Kay. I'm amazed at how the principles she shared in this book are still so relevant today. I can tell you that she lived her life by these principles and philosophies and raised her family by them now. Now that I'm older, I can clearly see how she was teaching them to me through my childhood. she knew that would make a difference in my life. And then it goes on and talks about her dream company. And I'm not going to take the time to read this whole thing, but the last part of it says, as much as any time in our history, the Mary Kay way today governs and fuels our global enterprise as it works to better the lives of untold millions of families around the world, and it will continue to do so. Ryan Rogers. And so we're going to go through these chapters, and we're going to have different speakers cover them. So like when it's our turn, we will read the chapter, not out loud, but we'll read it, and then we'll kind of summarize it and bring to light, you know, something that it meant to us. And then we may have some discussion about it too. Okay. So it's going to be, I think it'll be fun. We'll have a plan. Don't y'all love a plan? So we'll get through this little book. Sometimes I don't read books unless I have to. I know that I like to read, but it's just time consuming, right? But like if I have to do it, I'll read the whole entire thing because we're doing a book study. So it's going to help all of us to be better leaders. Don't y'all agree? So that's starting on the 13th of November. We'll do chapter 1. So everybody on your October order or your November order, go ahead and get your book ordered if you can. And like I say, I would just do it under Mary Kay In Touch. If you look under section 2, there's a place that says Mary Kay Culture. And then you click on more on Mary Kay and you'll see the book. And just make sure you order it in English or Spanish, whichever one applies to you. Okay. All right. So tonight, Miss Gail Marchand is going to be our teacher tonight. And she is going to teach us a little bit about some of her takeaways from Brittany Jinks' national debut. Okay, so I want to read y'all a little bit about Gail. She's on here a lot, but y'all may not know her. And I learned some things about her too. So let me go ahead and add her so y'all can look at her while I'm talking about her. Okay, here we go. So let me read you a little bit about Gail. As a matter of fact, let me read it out on paper. It'll be so much easier. So Gail has been part of the Mary Kay sales force for 36 years. She's been married to Jack, her husband, for 37 years. We met at our 10-year high school reunion and just went to our 50th this past August. She has 2 amazing adult sons, Ryan and Will, who is married to our beautiful, talented daughter-in-law, Katie, and their parents to their first grandchild, Claire. She joined Mary Kay to start a business so she could be a work-at-home entrepreneur and pay off student loans. Can we all relate to those student loans? Contribute to our household and be with people, and hopefully we would be blessed with children, she said. She earned her first Mary Kay car 6 months after joining the company and has been a part of the Mary Kay Career Car Program for 36 of her 37 years. She's driven the Mary Kay cars. Is that not amazing? She's been a part of the leadership Salesforce team as a Mary Kay sales director for the last 27 years. She's been the National Queen's Court of Sales 9 times. She's been a star consultant over 132 times. Her husband's favorite gifts that Gail has earned is the Global Resort Travel Voucher from her star prizes. What she loves most about Mary Kay, working with women who are transforming into powerful entrepreneurs by designing the life of their dreams. She's loved being a work-at-home mom, wife, and enjoyed a blessed life with her hubby Jack and her expanding family. Her new favorite saying is, God keeps his promises, and so can we. So she's going to share a little bit about some of her takeaways from Brittany Jinks' national area debut that was a couple of weeks ago. So Gail, just take it over, sister, and thank you so much for agreeing to share with us tonight.
Oh, sure. And thank you, Cleta. It's an honor to speak in your arena here. And I find it's truly a privilege. Really is very kind of you to say, sure, come on forward. So there were many takeaways from Brittany Jinks' national debut, right? And when I stepped into the area and it started to happen. And I just want you guys to take a minute and just remember when you went to seminar for the first time. Just close your eyes and you like go back to that moment in time, and you could hear all of the excitement. You could feel the floor almost, rocking because it was so thunderous. And when you opened your eyes and you experienced Mary Kay, you were standing and maybe tears were just pouring down, right? I don't even know if we had waterproof mascara back then, but it was such an emotional first experience. Like I had never gone to a pro basketball game or any kind of pro things where they rallied the big troops. This was my first big experience in a big arena with thousands of people doing anything, right? I mean, I graduated at Cobo Hall and that was 600 of us, but this was way over the top from that one. So when I went to Brittany Jinks' debut, I had that experience come back. It was a flashback. I went, oh my gosh, God is present in the room. He's moving us all. If I don't even think any of us were on the floor. I mean, I'm pretty sure we were all this far off the floor. You know, we could have just been barefoot. It would have been fine. Feet just flapping in the wind. So you can tell that it was a very, for me, it was personally very moving. And I was so grateful. But also I wanted to disclose that it was the first actual Mary Kay event I'd been to since COVID. And so it was like coming out of a cocoon, you know? And I was just so glad. And one of my Mary Kay sales friends was next to me and she said, I'm so glad you were here. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? So am I. I'm tears falling down my, just gushing out of my eyes. I'm going, I'm a hot mess, But here are the big takeaway that I'll share is actually, Cleta, I had sent this to you in Voxer, just, it was National Sales Director Kristen Sharp's acronym board. And she talks about, when you go to a training event and you just get flooded with 1,000 ideas, right? We've all been there, right? And our heads going woof, right? We've got so many great ideas. And she said, but you've got to like somehow narrow it down, get a grip on it so you can take advantage of what's just been poured into you. So she came up with these 6 acronyms. So the first one, and these are to help us pivot, is the aha moment, which means a moment of clarity. Whatever it is, it's like maybe you've been rolling around with a series of goals in your head, but it was a moment of clarity, like, boom, I know exactly what I want to achieve now, right? So that was the first one. And then the second one is called BFO, blinding flash of the obvious. In other words, that's your goal. What's the first thing you think you need to be doing, right? Or like I get it. It's like, man, I need to like keep in this present state of mind the whole time. The third thing was the MIT, most important task that you need to do first, right? So like the hit list. And I'm going to share with you a brain bubble idea that I have. The fourth item was, wow, within 1 week to complete, like, oh yeah, that starts to give it deadlines. Like that helps you pivot. And, whatever it is, the idea is, we've all got to have little deadlines or we just stay in the flurry and we don't like get going with it. Okay. The fifth one was WOM, within 1 month. Where do we want to be within 1 month of taking this, this aha moment, this blinding flash of the obvious? How do we want to harness that and ride on that one for the month, right? And then the sixth one was within the seminar year. Like, where do I want to be at the end of the year from the aha moment all the way through to the within one seminar year? So I said to myself, yep, I've had those awakenings before. And one of my girlfriends, and this wasn't the training from Kristen, but I'm going to share with you an idea that I apply to this. And she says, make a mind map. I call them a brain bubble. And here it is. You just make a bubble. And then you put out here all the things. And it could be all of those acronyms. What do you need to get done today, tomorrow, in a week, in a month, in a seminar year? And if you're growing your unit, what needs to be happening there? And how can you branch that out? So you can see all of the ideas. And you might need to have, but this might be the master bubble, but you might need to have like all these little bubbles off to the side. They have to be fixed first before you can get to this one. So anytime we get into, and I realized how powerful this was because you'll get into all these great ideas. And then the next thing you know, we're going like this instead of going forward. I'm going, confused mind does nothing. Yeah. How do you tame a lion? Just, wave a flag in front of it and it stops because it's just watching the flag go back and forth. So we just want to be able to take our idea. And then if we need to have additional bubbles, take a little baby bubbles and then say, okay, there's 5 things I need to do on this bubble. And then this bubble works to the big bubble, right? Like maybe it's just like make a list of customers I haven't seen in the last year. That could be a bubble, and then from there, what about the customers do I want to reach out to? Are they skincare? Are they color? Blah, blah, blah from there kind of thing. So that was my big takeaway. And that's how I apply it. So it took me about 4 days to get my goalposts together, but I did do it because then I discovered I was starting to get like this instead of going like that. So I got my goalpost out and it's sitting on the other side there. So I forced myself to look at it every day to remind myself that this is, you got to be hitting with all goals now, all fires on, it's time to go. It's go time. And we have to just remind ourselves of that, because now that we've left the experience, but we know that we have been mentally moved to think bigger, like we have our goal and then God's got his goal, which is 3 times bigger than our goal. And goodness gracious, we have no idea how really big his 3 times looks like, but we just do know that if we just keep going and just working on our bubbles and working with our acronyms, we are going to be in a bigger and better place, right? We're going to be in a place more where he wants us to be, and chances are it's going to be bigger. Chances are it's going to be better, right? Because I'm pretty sure God doesn't send us down the rabbit hole. That's not what he does. So just in closing, ask yourself, and I ask myself this, am I having big thinking or small thinking when I start on something? My activity helps with my action plan. And what I remind myself of, and also my consultants, is that when I keep my promises, and Kristen says, do pinky promises to ourselves, like pinky promises to us, because when we can set a goal, but we need to make a promise to us. When we make a promise to us and we keep it, that builds our confidence. And the next thing we've got more promises kept and more promises kept. And a promise that started here, all of a sudden it's like huge. It's up to the ceiling promise. And that builds so much internal confidence. We feel like we're unstoppable. Like, okay, it's maybe time for a cape or something here, because you just feel really good about, getting to the next level for yourself. And that opens our confidence level to take the lid off our confidence. It opens our heart and it gives you a new awareness. And we also have like a new, when we are out in public, we see things through a new lens. How wonderful is that? Right? And isn't that what we want all the time? And I just want you to think about this. For 25 days, for the last 25 days, since Brittany's national debut, we have been receiving amazing, off the charts, top shelf training that is like, wow. I mean, is it just me, or are you guys experiencing this too? Right? I mean, another great example, last night's giftology, off the charts, amazing. And it's only the second time they did it, and it's like spectacular results. Wow. What's out there? And we are in a constant pivot, but opening and thinking and bigging and believing bigger, dreaming bigger, and just being receptive to a constant willingness to change and say, does that work? No. Okay, what will work? Oh, maybe this. Okay, great. Move that way. I mean, it's still basic, booking, coaching, selling, recruiting, of course, but it's being able to use new tools and seeing how we can adapt what we know and being willing to pivot, so that we can find how it's going to be custom tweaked for our gifts and talents as individuals, and also to best meet the needs of those around us. So just in closing, okay, I went in, Brittany even came out with this super snazzy roo. This is her debut guide. We all walk in the doors and we get this great guide. I mean, honors all of our sales directors, shows, who the speakers are, the arrangement, the location of everything inside. Even on the back page, there was how to figure out your dream number, equipping us with tools to go home now that you've been at the event to figure out how to do something, like how to make your business pay for something. How fabulous is that? Even her resource girl that does all of her cool work, all the behind scenes work, that's fantastic, right? Because sometimes don't we find ourselves being, the behind scenes, the behind scenes person that figures it all out, plus doing the show up in front. Wouldn't it be just nice sometimes if we had someone else to have that think tank going on? She shared that source with us. I thought that was fantastic. But here's just in closing what she says. These are with all of her directors on her directors page. She says, great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. And it's never about the role. It's always about the goal, right? Doesn't that just hit home like, oh yeah, just knocked it out of the park. So that's all I got, Cleta. Thanks for letting me share my thoughts.
So good. I'm going to jump up here with you for a minute. Brittany, when she taught last night, and of course I met Brittany years ago, and she was in a pink Cadillac or fixing to win one anyway, but she shared last night that I think she joined when she was 21 years old as a waitress, and she had 2 other jobs. And, recruited Lindsay, who is also a $1 million director. And between those two, they just have blown it out. And I remember meeting them both at the same time at a beach retreat, and they were frustrated with their business. Asking me what to do. I'm fixing to make an appointment with them too and say, all right, girls. But just wonderful people. And thank you. And I know I know Gina, Maureen, several of y'all went as well and probably feel the same way. But thank you for sharing that. At the career conference last year in Atlanta, she had those postcards that she sent out. And for the life of me, I was looking for, I remember you sent it to me, and I looked in Voxer Messenger, maybe you emailed it, I don't know, but I was going to bring it on the screen. But anyway, thank you for sharing those. Those are so good. And I would like, and talk about that giftology last night. There were 22,000 people on it, y'all. 22,000 people. If you don't think that's a something else, and it's called marketing. But one of the things that I wanted to tell you about, and first of all, let's just give Gail a big hand.
Oh, thanks.
Everybody give her a big fat hand, and we'll say some kind words to her in just 1 second. Thank you so much, Gail. But one of the things that she reminded me of is there was an article that just came out from Ryan Rogers, and he was talking about Mary Kay and about his new role as the CEO. And one of the things that he said in there that I caught, and I shared that article, I don't know if y'all read it, because there's a lot of ads in between the article. I just hate that. But anyway, you got to keep scrolling down. And one of the things that he said is, he was telling someone else, he said, we have, and I think it was like, I don't know exactly the number, however many beauty consultants that we have. And so however many that number was, he said, that's how many influencers we have in Mary Kay, but we're not using them for like on Instagram, Facebook, like we should. If every single Mary Kay consultant turned into an influencer promoting Mary Kay products, we're already number 1, y'all, but it would quadruple our whole unit, because people right now are going to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook to see what they want to buy. I mean, that's just what they're doing besides Amazon, right? So they're really, I don't know if you've noticed, but they're really pumping up us being on social media more, right? And like not forcing us, but incentivizing us. So this is my little prize for winning being one of the winners of the social media, what was it called? The Mary Kay 60 social media challenge. And so they sent me this whole deal where you can put your phone on it and, do your videos. I usually do mine on my computer, but if I wanted to, I definitely could do it, right? And so it has a little light on it. And don't you know, I would just look like a 20-year-old on here trying to do my videos. And so anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to show it to you. It was it's called a LumiCube, which is exactly what I'm using actually for my big computer. But anyway, I thought that was pretty awesome that they sent that to me. And it was in this nice, big, huge pink box with a big fat bow on it. And I'm like, what have I gotten? I had no idea that it was all wrapped up in pink paper. I'm like, man. And then they just interviewed Jana Strunk, which is a friend of mine. A lot of y'all know. They did a whole interview and a thing with her today on being a social creator and, how's that helped her in her business and how she's using the social media playbook. And I want to give you a tip that Jana told me. I'm like, Jana, that's pretty smart. So what she did is she printed out the social media playbook for the month. And then she printed it out, and then she looked at all the things that you're supposed to take pictures of. Because it'll tell you what to say, and it'll say, show a picture of, and it might say, you with a fall look, the satin hands, the whatever. Okay. So she says, then I make a list of all the pictures I need. And sometimes I can knock out all those pictures in just a couple days. And then I'm ready to go to just do that picture that I've already got ready to go with exactly what they say on it. Just cut, paste, and copy exactly what they say and put it out on, Instagram, Facebook. Looks professional. She's got the picture ready to go. It's not stressful because she's already done it. And actually, she schedules them for the day they're supposed to go out. So like you literally could print it out and you could set it all up the first couple of days of the month. and have it all scheduled on your Facebook to go out on that day that it's supposed to go out, and you're done. I mean, you still could do other stuff. But anyway, I said, Jana, that's pretty smart. I said, because sometimes you wake up in the morning, you might read what you're supposed to do that day, and you're like, I don't want to do that. I got pink on, it wants me to do fall, or like, something different. So I think that was pretty smart. So I want to give you that tip too. But anyway, great job, Gail. Gail, do you want to say something?
I just have a question for the posting on social media. Are you talking like posting on your business page or just on your
or
homepage?
actually what they've got is fine for your regular page, because it doesn't say buy, it's not a call to action, and they're all good for, you could do it on a business page, but you could also do it on your regular public page. Either way, I have a customer page. It's usually where I schedule them, but you could definitely do it because like for me, I have so many Mary Kay people on my public page. Like my ones that aren't in Mary Kay, I have tried to ease them over to my customer page. Does that make sense? But even like Instagram, it's not a business one, it's a public one. Well, they're all public on Instagram, but yeah. So I think either way, they're not a call to action. So any of those are fine for that. And hey, Mary Kay exactly put the words in there, and they even have the hashtag. So you don't even have to worry if it's okay, because they approved it. They the ones that came up with it,
All right.
So anyway, very
Cleta,
good.
can I say something just very quickly?
Go ahead, Connie.
Mary Kay is also looking at consultants. So it's not just directors, guys. It's, the consultants who are doing social media posts as well. And I was at beach retreat this past weekend. And one of the girls that was there as a consultant, I think she's in her red jacket. Okay. But she's been doing exactly what Cleta just said, using the Mary Kay post and doing it publicly though. And she is killing it. And Mary Kay sent her a message, and they've asked her to film how to do social media for consultants. So there you go.
Absolutely.
They are watching everybody.
Yes, they are. There's a lot of consultants that are doing so well on it. So thank you for saying that. It's not just directors. I think this was a random drawing. It's just everybody. I don't think like it's like, oh, Cleta's so good. I think it's like they put them all in a hat and I just got lucky, but I am lucky. So that's okay.
No, you're just good. You're just very good.
That's a lot.
I agree.
I do try to do what they say by putting hashtag, Mary Kay 60, on there. But one of the things Gail said that I thought was really good is that when you set a goal for yourself and you make yourself do it, like it does raise your confidence, and then you have more belief in yourself. And anytime you set something and you pinky promise with yourself that you're not going to let yourself off the hook, it makes you feel good about yourself, which gives you confidence, right? Who else would like to say anything about what Gail shared tonight? And then we'll wrap it up.
Hey,
I'd
Cleta,
like
this
to
is
say
Sayla.
thank you.
Go ahead, Sayla, then Maureen.
Yeah, I thought, Gail, what you said about God's presence being in the room and that he was moving all of you was so powerful. I can only imagine and envision what that felt like. So thank you for sharing that.
And, we all remember the first big meeting right after COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I think mine was, Sayla, was it leadership?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
And it just was like, oh, thank you. And you did just want to cry.
Yeah.
So, Gail, I'm glad you were able to do it. And now, yeah, awesome. Okay, Maureen.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was so great to see you there. And I loved when you reshared about, keeping the dream, keeping the promise. How could we forget that? I mean, it was all over the place. But Kristen Sharp's little 3-letter offerings to go through our notes with, that was genius. So I've been all over that. So thanks for that reminder again. I loved that. So thank you so much. It was awesome tonight.
Gail.
It's good to see you there. Thank you. I wanted to say, Cleta, that I got to meet Gina and I got to meet Maureen, like really meet them. Like I never met them before.
I know, and I registered, so I should have been there. But anyway, hey, if you have that little card, that picture of that card, will you send it to me? Or and then I'll just put it up on the screen so everybody can see it and take a picture of it.
If you're able to,
that has it.
If I did, Cleta, if you're able to open up your Boxer, I put it in your group Boxer.
Oh, in the group Boxer.
Yeah.
The Boss Babe was Mary
Yeah.
Kay, that one? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Just now.
I was
mean,
looking at the director one. Let me find, oh, there it is. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Look at that.
Hey, and while you're looking for that, Gail, I do want to say you're fabulous. Thank you for reminding us, because this entire thing was so moving. And from the moment that they opened in praise and brought the house down, you're right. It was just such an inspiration, and we were there to lift each other. There was nothing the whole weekend that, oh my gosh, it was just phenomenal about you can too. And I took a picture of this young lady, and I wish I knew her name, because I would post it and share her story, but she didn't have a $42 in her checking account when they offered her the opportunity, because she wanted some product. She only had $42, had lost her job. And she was standing on stage as a sales director saying, I don't have that problem anymore. But y'all, we need to stop being selfish and start asking everybody. I'm talking to me too. Sorry, Cleta, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, absolutely. That just moves me when you think about that, how it changes people's lives. This is the picture of that. If you guys wanted to, that she just shared, and if you guys want to screenshot it or something, I think really with everything that you go to, whether it is a Boss Babe call or maybe it is a big event, look at that and write it down, because it does help you go back to look at it. I'd like to go back to the one I had a year ago when we had career conference in Atlanta that we went to, and we wrote on it. So thank you so much for sharing that. Hope everybody's had time to get it. All right, awesome. Okay, anybody else have anything they'd like to say before we wrap it up?
I do.
Okay, Latrice.
Hey, everybody. First of all, Maureen, your hair is so cute.
Isn't
And
it?
second of all, thank you, Gail. I just want to say that we have experienced, and the words that you used a while ago about top shelf training, y'all, we are getting some top shelf training all over Mary Kay. And so thank you, Gail, for sharing. And just thank everybody, Cleta, Maureen, Gina, everybody, Selah. It is just amazing what we are going through as such a time as this, as they say, and we're just in the right place at the right time. And I have to laugh about that, not laugh, but when you said God will send me down a rabbit hole, well, I have 2 armadillo holes out my yard. So when you said that, I was like, God ain't sending me down no armadillo hole. Anyway. Thank you, Gail.
You know what? Miracles happen all the time. And so here's a little miracle today. Brad was helping this guy. He was digging stumps in my mom's yard, and he cut down a tree, and he had all this debris, and he's trying to pick it up and put it in piles for my mother. And he came home and he could not find his glasses, his readers. Okay. And he don't buy cheap readers, they're like nice ones. And so I said, Brad, you want me to go with you to look? Because here's the bad thing. When you lose your glasses and you can't see, it's a problem,
Right.
So he had his cheap readers. So you guys, if we didn't go out there, we're looking around. He goes, and we looked everywhere. He's like, I don't know. And so then I looked and I found them. And it was like under a leaf by a limb. They're the same color as the limbs, And so I got on, I'm like, who's your best friend? He couldn't believe it. I was like, it's a miracle. If you ever have stuff like that, you're like, I can't even believe that I just found these glasses amidst all, if y'all could have seen the yard, you just wouldn't. There's just no way we were going to find those glasses. And he was in the backyard, in the front yard, in the side yard, down the driveway, picking up, trying to help her. And he had them hooked on his shirt right here. And so miracles happen every single day. So there's your miracle for the day. And if I can find a pair of readers in a pile of leaves and limbs in a yard that you can't even see, nothing, then all of y'all can get in your red jacket, can get team leader, and can go DIQ and become sales directors. And at the very least, build a big, fat, juicy customer base, right?
Amen.
We can do it. We can do it, y'all. Okay, well, we're going to end this. I'm going to ask my unit members that are on here, Deborah, Linda, Sandra, Carolyn. Anyway, y'all know who, if you're in my unit. I need to talk to you just like 3 minutes. Okay. So if everybody else, that y'all can take off, and we'll see everybody else at the